Morning Discord, morning YouTube. Let's get into it. Okay, so not a lot of motion in the after hours and pre-market. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right, we see our pink range. It's kind of a wide range. It's probably supposed to be on line right here. Okay, just doing some cleaning up in the morning. We have our 5-day moving average at 647.63. We see we're about to test this level of liquidity right up here. So let's see what happens when we get into this liquidity box right here. Yeah, yesterday was just a consolidation day, just sideways. So they're just coiling up, building up the liquidity. You see all the liquidity built up, right? So on our long term, on our big term time frame, that's just a big liquidity box right there. So in the short term, it looks like our range is between this pink and this white, 648.46 and 649.86. So this is our 1 minute range, but on our 30-minute range, it's all the way, it's this pink and this pink here. So we'll just be patient. Early candles, let them play out. Be patient. All right, so let's watch out for the liquidity grab up at this pink to see, like, let's see if they maybe grab liquidity off the pink to push it down. So we want to look out for that right there. And then we're also looking out for this bolt up. So we want to know if we're going to start a weak bear cycle on our 30-minute, or are we going to go into a full retracement bear cycle? So that's to be determined. This next week or a couple days we'll decide if we're going to have a weak bear cycle or a full bear cycle. Okay, now if we break this level, we're gonna look for a break, retest, and a reject. So just be patient. All right, let's see if we start, either we start a bear cycle on the 1 minute, or if we continue and continue with the bolt. We're right at VWAP right now. So let's see if we grab liquidity off VWAP and head down. Just be patient here. Now let's measure this bear cycle to see how significant this bear cycle is. Let's see what we got. So you see that we're just bouncing in the range of pink and white. 648.66 and 649.86. We're just in this range, so your safety is going to be outside of this range. I'll highlight them so you see it. We'll go with this one. All right, so now we want to see, are we going to bounce off this liquidity? Are we going to have a weak bear cycle here to bounce off the liquidity? So we need to see which liquidity box we're going to break. Are we going to break up or are we going to break down? But we also got to watch out that we don't get trapped in this, right? We don't want to get trapped in chop. And sometimes you don't know you're in chop until it's too late. So let's see the reaction we have off of VWAP. If it rejects off of VWAP, or see if we get some type of direction here. Just be patient. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. You got to be careful here because it can go either way. You see how we're above the water? So it can easily turn around on you and do this, or it can just continue in the bear cycle. That's why when we're above the water and we see a weak bear cycle, you got to be a little bit more cautious and wait for more structure. If you have deep structure, then it's easy to see what's going to play out most likely. But if you don't have deep structure, then it's going to be a little more difficult. So before trying to use the MACD, you need to understand structure as well. Let's check higher time frame. Some bullish volume, but these candles aren't really convincing of price action. Looks like we're starting a bull cycle, but we are below the water on the 5 minute. So I think this magenta holds a lot of liquidity on the 5-minute. Yeah, the 30-minute has some room for the down. So something we might want to pay attention to, that 30-minute. The 5-minute, we might be starting a weak bull cycle. All right. We got to see which way the liquidity builds up. Does it build to the top or does it build to the bottom? Let's just wait. I'm not sure about this blue. Let's give this blue a little bit of time to work. I'm not positive about it, but we're looking to see if it's going to be a build in purple and then break a blue for the down. That's what we're testing to see right now. If break a blue is going to be our down. Break a magenta for the down on the 5-minute, and then I need more time. Just give me a little bit of time. Magenta, yes. Blue in the short term. So yeah, let's give it a little bit more time. But yes, this liquidity here is for this magenta, correct. This liquidity here is for this blue. So the blue is going to help us with the magenta. So, and they all work together. So we're going to see. We're testing it right now. We're testing this blue. Yeah, let's get out of this range first, because we're just dancing on VWAP. But the blue looks like it might be holding up. I'll give it a little more time. I think I might need to adjust it slightly, but we'll see. I think I might want to do that. So yeah, we're gonna see if blue's gonna lead us to magenta. But you see, we're just stuck in between liquidity zones, right? We have a zone right here, and we have a zone up here. So if I were to just consolidate this down into something a little more palatable, you'll see we have a zone right here, a zone right here, and a zone right here. So we'll see if we build strength going this way or going this way. And let's say if we do stay inside this blue and reject off the VWAP to the upside, then our target is probably going to be this pink, right? The high of our last liquidity. That's what we want to look for. But we're just sideways right now, so we're just building up liquidity inside this blue. So I do like that. So let's see what happens in the 1 minute on this. Let's see if we get below the water here. Which, if we get below the water and break blue, that might be something. Don't know yet. But we're testing it. So let's wait for the test to play out. We are below VWAP. We might be rejecting underneath VWAP. So rejecting under VWAP, break a blue. The target would be small risk to reward if it does. 648.66. But stuck in this liquidity, you know, your safety is going to be outside here, right? Somewhere below 648.46 and somewhere above 649. That's the answer. If you want safety, wait till we get outside that. But if you want to play inside of this range, that's on you. I'm identifying the risk for you. So this microstructure here, we want to look for this right here. Right? We want to see if there's a break, or, you know, we want to see this micro cup and handle play out. Okay. Let's be patient. I'm identifying the risk for you. I told you inside of here, it's going to be choppy. You already know that. You see it's going to be choppy in here. It can turn around at any point inside of this little box here. So I'm identifying the risk. Your you know, best opportunity is going to be down here on puts and then up here for calls. If you want to be risky and play inside the algo, then, you know, that's on you. You have to understand your risk tolerance. Paper trade if you're not comfortable yet. Paper trade this. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. Remember, we're still above the water. We're technically still above the water. So this could turn around on you. You can't. Just be patient. I'm telling you where your risk is. Inside this range is risky. It can turn around at any point. This candle right now could drop to this level, grab liquidity, and shoot up. Because you're in this range, I'm telling you where the risk is. We're still technically above the water on the MACD, so we haven't broken this 5-minute liquidity yet. We haven't broken this magenta on the 5-minute. Okay. We got below the water now. The MACD is below the water technically. So we'll see how much we can get out of it. Be patient, don't overtrade. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. There we go. Easy money. Easy money. Profit target 1 hit. Profit target 1 hit. Okay. Nice little starter position right there. If you're waiting for this, wait for the break and retest if you're gonna wait for that. And if it doesn't happen, I'm sorry, but I mean, you could jump in if you want. It's on you, but it's up to you. I'm identifying the risks for you. You know the risks. All right, we're below the water. See how we went below the water, below VWAP, and we broke blue? That's called confluence. We had confluence. We had more than one reason to go in. That's why I was saying, look, we're about to go below water. We're about to break the blue. We're rejecting under VWAP. I was giving you I was telling you these things because I wanted you to take these into consideration. This is what I'm talking about, confluence. More than one reason to tell us to take a trade. Not just, oh, well, I saw a candle doing a thing. That can't be the answer. All right, so if the down's going to continue, we need to see a weak bull cycle. So I'm telling you, the safety's underneath here. And I told you, your profit target 1 right here is hit. So if you didn't take profit there, there's nothing I can do. I literally gave you the answers to the test before it happened. And I told you exactly where to take your profit. And I told you, if you want safety, wait for the break and retest, right? I'm identifying the risks for you. We knew this was going to happen. This was easy. How much was it from the break? 648.93 all the way down to 648.66. Decent move. But we already identified this risk. We knew that was going to happen. So now that the cup has closed, you see this cup right here. Let me clean up the chart just a bit. Maybe you can see what I'm talking about. We want to see if this is a mini cup, right? Is it a micro cup right there? Now, at a certain point, if the price goes too high, this is invalid, right? And that just means that this is probably a stop hunt, maybe. But we're about to test this green now. So we want to look for blue for the down and maybe green for our up for the day. Remember, we're still in this pink. I told you what the range is, right? This pink and primary liquidity is in 48.66. Secondary liquidity is in 48.46. You see it, right? You see how the bodies ended right here, but the wicks went a little bit further. So there's a secondary liquidity underneath here. Now remember, at a certain point, if this gets too high, this will be invalid. So then this is what I'm saying to learn how to identify the setups. This would be a good setup for the micro cup and handle. And now if it gets above this and we start, let's say hold on, I'm going to clear the chart. Remember what's happening right here? So if once we break this structure for this cup and handle, right? Once this structure is broken, now we need to look out for if they grab liquidity off the VWAP. We want to see if they grab liquidity off VWAP to send us up. But right now, this cup and handle is still valid, right? I just wanted to show you at a certain point, it's no longer valid. That's why I gave the homework the other day to learn the rules of a cup and handle, the rules of a head and shoulders. You got to learn the rules to know when a play is valid or not. Okay, so it looks like green might be our up for the day. So stop hunt right here, but we knew to take profit right here. We already knew that. How do we know that? Because we're in this range. And magenta is still holding up, so Sunny, good on you for recognizing that. You're learning. See how on the 5 minute also didn't break on the 5 minute. Good job, Sunny. Sunny with the W. Hell yeah. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Hold on, wait. Did this just happen right here? Wow. Look at what's okay. There might be some news that just came out or something. Big volatility coming in. Oh man. And just to show you, you may think you got everything all figured out, and then life goes and does this. Do you see now that, you know, certain structure is gonna happen? It's gonna happen. It has to happen a certain way. If the price wants to go to a certain area, it has to do this thing first. All we need to identify is what is it gonna do first before that other move. This is crazy. Yeah, wait for underneath 648.46. Look at this range in here. I told you it was gonna be. I told you this range was gonna be like this. We already knew this. We're identifying the risks here. And and here's the thing, you don't always have to take a trade. Wait till you see the setups you like. Trust me, the home runs, they come. I don't even know what to make of this. A big rejection wick underneath VWAP. It never crossed above VWAP, so a big rejection wick under VWAP. But then we get these big green. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh man, this is tricky. Yeah, I'm staying out of this. But green is holding up. Look how well green is doing. And actually, you know what? Look, green broke. So this, I can't do the test off of this because the price didn't do the thing. Green is holding up though, so I'm gonna keep it in mind, but technically it didn't pass the test. But it is working for right now. Look at it. Look at green. Okay. Okay. We're below the water. We just had a weak bull cycle. Let's see if we finish off this bear cycle, or is that all we're going to get out of this? Because look, now the bigger cup has closed. So you see the cup handle. This one went perfect, but now the bigger cup has closed. So let's see if we get more momentum to the downside. Okay, we broke magenta on the 5 minute. Yep, we broke magenta in the 5 minute. We're still inside green. Let's see if we're in our second liquidity pocket now, right? You remember this is our second liquidity pocket. Liquidity pocket number 1 was up here in this big range. The small liquidity is down here in this range between 648.46 and 66. Remember we talked about that. So we're still below the water. Yeah, we're inside green until we're not in green. Inside green meaning we're not. Okay, when I say we're inside green until we're not, meaning we're heading down, right? We're in this downtrend until we're not. So if you're looking for short entries, you want to look for a rejection off of green. All right, now we get the test to see if green's going to be the up for the day. I told you where the range was, right? Matter of fact, I even highlighted it. Look, here's the 2 for this bottom one, and here's a 2 for this top. And this is a 1, right? The primary liquidity, secondary liquidity. We knew to watch out for this. So this cup and handle played out. Now we need to look for the next setup. It played out, but it played out very ugly. It played out very ugly. Like, look at this. There's no way anyone could have predicted that. I mean, you knew it was going to happen, but we didn't know it was going to look like this. So we're below the water, below VWAP. Let's see if we get a weak bull cycle. This might be a break, retest, and reject a VWAP while still being inside of green. So we'll see. We might have a half channel in blue. I know the bottom's here, but sometimes I could make it look pretty, but I'd rather be right. So I'm going to leave it. I know I see that it's broken. The wicks are broken, or the bodies are broken, but just trust me. That's where it needs to go. Okay, so let's look for the possible setups, right? We want to look to see if we have a shoulder, a head, and then another shoulder. Let's look to see if we start forming another purple. Let's look to see if we have a weak bull cycle to start a bear cycle, rejecting inside of green. Let's look to see if that happens. Don't front run it. Don't try to get ahead of it. Just wait for it to happen. Because you see how the price will turn around on you in 1 second. Now we're still got to test green to see if green's going to be our up for the day. This should probably be here. VWAP should be around here. If this happens, VWAP should be around here, right? That makes sense, right? Now we're going to have confluence. All right, break a green. I really want to test break a green. And this would be nice to break a green while still being inside of blue. So then if it does break above VWAP again, look for the retest of VWAP, and that'll finish our shoulder. You know, it could just go straight up and then you miss out, but if not, you know, I don't know what to say. We all know what could happen. It can go up or down. That's the answer. It can go up or it can go down. So we'll see. This is why I want to test green. We'll see if I need to adjust it. I might need to adjust it, but I'm gonna use where I have it right now just to. Okay. Okay. So break a green. It looks pretty good so far. I might need to adjust it, but I'm gonna leave it where it is for right now. Oh geez. Oh geez. Don't forget, we're in this tight range, so paper trade this. Paper trade in here. See if, you know, test out your chops paper trading. No reason why you can't do that. All right, so we broke VWAP. Let's see if we retest VWAP, because that'll be nice for this shoulder. Now, if there's plenty of strength off of VWAP, it'll just stay in purple and shoot up. If it wants to grab a little more liquidity, let's look for this retest and reject the VWAP. So it's hard to know how much strength it got right now, because this was kind of the expected move right here. Oh, okay. There it is. Strength off of VWAP. Okay, let's see if we hit this target. Oh, I missed my fill. I missed my fill. Missed my fill, so it's okay. I missed this trade completely. I missed the fill. I tried to go in too late when it broke green and it started to do this right here, and I didn't want to chase it because I didn't want it to reject on me, so I didn't get my proper fill. Hopefully you guys got this trade. Yeah, I missed it too. This happened to this. I was trying to do too much. I'm talking and trying to chart and path, and I'm doing too much, and I missed this right here. I tried to put it on, but it didn't fill because the price moved too fast, and I didn't want to chase it. So it's okay. It's okay. Hopefully one of you took advantage of it. It's okay if you hesitated. It doesn't matter. We're still in this range, right? You didn't miss anything. I mean, looking at these candles, you're probably like, God dang. Right? Yeah, we kind of knew this was gonna happen, right? But it could be tricky, especially if you're betting on this inverse cup and handle. But I'm really glad I put this secondary liquidity here. I'm really glad I put it here because look, price exactly touched it. And if it were to break that with a break and retest, then I would have probably went in on puts. Okay, let me put our liquidity boxes back. I think these liquidity boxes, I think they're kind of helping. I like them. Do you guys like the boxes, or are they too distracting? If they're distracting, I'll take them away because I know there's a lot of stuff on this screen right now. Okay, quick question for the Discord. Do you guys want me to get rid of these liquidities boxes or keep it? Because it may be too distracting. I don't know if it's too much on the screen. Keep? Okay. Got one for keep. Okay. Two. Alright, we'll just leave them then. Yeah, eventually you won't need me to draw them, but I think maybe I'll leave them on there just to give you the muscle memory. Again, still in our range. But you see blue building up good liquidity. I mean, technically we're still inside of this magenta, right? We're still inside of magenta, and we're putting in work inside of this magenta. That's what we're trying to do here. All right, so break a green. I think this is a good move. Oh, I didn't highlight it. I'm sorry. Well, we're testing it, so I'll put it at 2 because I didn't know. I put green at 2 since I didn't. It was a test. All right, now we're above the water, so let's see if we get a weak bear cycle or maybe if we get continuation here to the target. We're targeting pink. But we did reach this liquidity zone here. So we had our break of green to the next liquidity zone. So you see that we're in the liquidity zone now, right? We're exactly in it right here. All right, so I'm gonna clean up this chart really quick. So that played out. Now we need to look for the next, what's the next play, right? Look for this. If it's gonna, if we want to stay in this little range here. So yeah, we're still inside this blue, which is inside this magenta. The inception of stock trading. It's a tough day in this range. It's gonna be tough while we're in this range. I know it's we're just sitting by watching a lot of stuff go by, but nothing you can do. Let's see if we reject off of VWAP and continue up, or if we go underneath VWAP and just stay in this range. Because all day yesterday was pretty much just a range. You know, broke out a little bit right here and down here, but it finished right where we started. If you're looking for safety, wait for the range to break. That's the answer. If you're looking for safety, wait for the range to break. Let's look at the 30-minute. Yeah, completely sideways. Both of them indecision dojis on the 30-minute. So there's, if you didn't take any trades, good. That means we did the right thing. Do you see that 30-minute candle, indecision doji? If you didn't take a trade, that means you're doing the right thing. Rejection underneath VWAP. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade this. Let's see if it's gonna be a build in purple and then break the green. Let's see. So we are technically above the water, but we're below VWAP. This might be a significant bear cycle here. So we'll see what happens on the break of this blue. And there might be a secondary liquidity right here as well. So safety wait for this secondary blue. Stuck in the range, right at VWAP. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. That'd be really interesting if we had a weak bear cycle right here. We're above the water, so if this line crosses while we're still above the water, that's going to be a bolt up. But we should be grabbing liquidity off here, which should make this get some strength. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be underneath VWAP to our levels for each profit target. All right, let's see if we might be getting below the water here. Let's see if we get below the water. Let's see if we can get another round of some confluence between breaking our level, maybe even breaking key level, getting below the water, having this blue and orange spread apart even further. Spread them. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. Okay, one thing I want to say is navigating days like today, navigating and understanding risk days like today, this is what makes you a profitable trader or not. Identifying when you're in chop, identifying where the profit target is and not overstaying your welcome, right? Especially on this first break of blue, I think the profit target hit perfect. Not overstaying your welcome because you know you have to be in a range and you got to stick to certain rules. All right, let's see what happens here. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. If you do take any trades inside this range, get in and get out. Get your money and get out. This is that significant bear cycle I was talking about. Because we're below VWAP, it should be a significant bear cycle. Now don't overstay your welcome if you took the trade. Don't overstay your welcome. The 5-day is within range, by the way. This secondary liquidity is really holding up strong. This 648.46, it's really holding up strong. We got below the water. On the 5-minute, we had a weak bull cycle. This thing just went sideways on the 5-minute. Absolutely no direction whatsoever. 30-minute, a slow descending bear. Yeah, let's wait for the secondary liquidity to break. Let's see the retest of this, this blue. Now you see the liquidity we're in, right? We're in this range right here. So now you want to see if we start fading this way or if we start fading this way. So once you get into your liquidity box, you'll know the direction because you just got to look for the fade now. Again, we're looking to see if we're going to fade up or if we're going to fade down. Be right back. Now you got to measure risk to reward. If you go long here, where's the liquidity? VWAP. So measure risk to reward. And also you're going to be up against maybe green. If you're looking for some safety, wait for price to break and retest this level right here. For puts, if you're looking for puts, wait for that. We're still below the water. So if you're looking for put entries, you gotta hope for this weak bull cycle. If it happens, right? It might just, we might shoot out. We'll see. We got some maybe rejection wicks coming in up here. All right, we're still below the water. All right, we're still below the water. Still below the water. Okay. Nice candle. We're testing that secondary liquidity. Okay. We broke it. Let's see if we retest and reject or if it shoots straight through. This is... Okay. Excellent trade. Trade protected. Let's just hope it doesn't retrace and stop everybody out. Let's see if we hit next target's gonna be pink 4802. So we only had our put entries available. We had the break of blue here. We had the break of key level, break of key level. Our call entry wasn't until green, so, or at least VWAP. Look at this money we just printed. Look at the money we printed. All right, let's see if we break through 4802 to hit the 5. Someone said earlier today they're looking at the 5. All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. We're still, you see how the orange and blue spread them? You see that? Remember I said we want to see it spread them? Look at the spread them. Look at the spread them. You see how they got close together, but we wanted to see it spread apart. Boom. Look at the money we just printed here. Look at this money. Look at the money. And then look, wait until this closes at least. At least wait till this closes. Well, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you want to collect right now, you can collect right now. But I get it. I get it. You want to secure something in your hand. So go ahead and secure that. Secure that bag you got in your hand right now. Look at all the money we printed this morning. We just had to be patient. We stuck to our rules. We stuck to our strategy. We knew where the liquidity zone was. We knew what we needed to break. Today's a good day. Amazing day, excellent day. Our call entries weren't until, look at the money I'm going crazy. Look at the money we just printed. Look at this money. Okay. Oh, let's see if we hit the 5. This is why I told you, wait until this closes. At least, you know, some. Let's get to the 5. Look at the money we just printed this morning. Look at this money. Look at the money. What an amazing day. Look at this money. We're just printing money. It's just a money printing machine. Good job, everybody. Good job. Yeah, good. Be done for the day. Hell yeah. That's all we need. This is how you build your account. This is all we need. Look at the home run. I told you, just wait. The home runs will come. And you know why this happened? All because liquidity box. No, I'm just kidding. And look, you see how the MACD still hasn't closed yet. It still hasn't closed. So if you're looking on when to exit your trades, this is a good little indication of when you should exit your trades. Look how much money we're printing right now. All right, from the entry, which, you know, if you're in the Discord, the entry would have been on break of blue. So we'll go with this one. 648.70 to 647. Look at the money that was just printed right now. All right, don't overstay your welcome. Do not overstay your welcome here, because you're at the 5. You know the liquidity's here. Don't get greedy. I'm gonna take off half my half my contracts off, and then I'll leave the other ones probably up here above this wick, and I'll let the rest play out. Look at what an amazing day we had. Today was a great day. All right, there you go, Steven. Hell yeah. Good. Finish green. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Don't be afraid. If you have a good setup, don't be afraid to take the setup, because if it doesn't work, we know where the next setup is. What happened, Lee? Lee, didn't you take the trade? Oh, okay. Okay, good. Hell yeah, you said you would. Good job. Hell yeah. Stick to our rules. We're building this account little by little. I'm gonna leave my secondary or my runners up here. If it gets stopped out, it gets stopped out. Don't care. 100%. Or we 1000x on this. If you had a proper risk to reward. I'm gonna leave my stop way up here for my other set of contracts. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. Okay, I'm back. Let's see what we got. All right, my stops haven't been, oh no, it's over here. My stops have not been, let me go check. Yeah, I got stopped out. Okay, no big deal. All right, we're just waiting for the next setup. Let's see if we get another. No, this next one's gonna be break, retest, reject underneath the 5. That's the answer. We have to do this underneath the 5. I mean, honestly, Discord, we should be done for the day. There's no reason to sit here and keep trading. You're degenerate gamblers. If you have money, for sure, green. If you have money and you're gonna sit here and trade all day, this isn't not a good idea. It's not a good idea, I'm telling you, because you have money in your account. Why risk it? You did the work for the day. This was what we did here was the work for the day. We don't need to sit here and trade anymore. This is, you guys got to learn how to preserve your account. Yeah, no, we gotta be done. You guys, you're just gambling now. You're never gonna build the account if you just sit here and just risk the money all day. It's just it can't happen. It's never gonna happen. You gotta know when to walk away. Look at this move. Look at if you can't walk away from this right here, then you got problems. We need to have a discussion with a therapist, because you're actively working against yourself. I'm gonna clean up this chart just a bit. It looks crazy on here. I would just like to point out the actual structure that played out, which was this, and this. Does everyone see that? This was the actual structure. I drew it kind of ugly. I drew it like this and like this. But the actual structure was these right here. This was the path. So shoulder, head, shoulder. After the fact, it's easy to see it. We need to try to see it before. That's all. That's all we need to do, is try to recognize it before. If there's going to be any more downside, let's look for a weak bull cycle. Actually, no. I already said it. It's going to be the break retest of the 5. That's the answer. So right here was a good example of, so if blue, the primary liquidity was blue, right? Whenever you see like little short ones like this, that means there's a primary and a secondary liquidity. So once we broke blue on this 1026 candle, all we need to do is break, retest, reject of blue. Remember, this was the original line here. And I told you, if you got to rewind the tape, I told you that even though I know it'll look better to have it here on this number 2, I said I'm going to leave it here because that's where it belongs. And if you look at this wick, look at this body, look at this wick, look at this wick, look at this wick, look at this wick, wick, and the body, like it had to be this one. Even though it didn't make sense at the time, I knew it. And there's a secondary liquidity here. That's why I said for your safety to enter here. But you see right here, break, retest, reject. What I always preach, this is classic perfect setup. Break, retest, reject. Okay, so same thing here. We want to see if we form maybe a shoulder, maybe a head, maybe another shoulder. It may not be pretty, but then, you know, if this does happen, you're targeting to 647.42 or wherever the 5 is, which is probably going to be 647.42. So a measure risk to reward. You got to measure your risk to reward, because we knew that if we get below this, this was the target. And if we get below this, the 5 was the target. We already knew that. So once you figure out, understand structure and certain things need to happen. If this happens, you have a very high probability of this next thing happening. Our goal here is to figure out what is most probable. Not that we know what's going to happen, but what is most probable. Because this is a game of probabilities, just in case you haven't noticed. There's no certainties in any of it. That's why with proper risk management, even taking losses doesn't hurt you. Remember this right here, right? So if it were to continue down, we need to see the microstructure within the liquidity box. On this one, it was a classic bolt on the break and retest of blue. This blue right here. Oh, my computer's about to die. Okay. Let's see. So on our 30-minute at 648.02, let's go to 648.02. I was gonna see if we saw structure that was gonna tell us that we're heading down, and the only thing I can see is this momentum candle. So momentum candle is the indication of what was gonna happen next. Well, that was lucky. Okay, I think we're forming a purple here. Now it's going to be tricky in between pink and the 5. Don't get caught in this chop. Do not get caught in this chop. So if you are a degenerate gambler and you have to sit here and trade and make me sad, then I'm gonna go on the 5. This is what you gotta look out for, okay? I'm probably gonna be done for the day, but we want to see if we do this. So let's see if we get back into this purple, this magenta, or let's see if we do this. Okay. I'll leave the paths on before I go. All right, so if it's gonna head up, look for either this inverse head and shoulders or the cup and handle right here. If it's gonna head down, look for the bolt. Technically, the bolt could bolt back. Hold on, let me do that again. It could bolt back up to this liquidity level here. Okay, so let's look at the 5 minute. On the 5 minute, look for the structure that tells us, look for the fade. Are we fading up or fading down? And then try to translate that into your 1 minute. So use your charts together, right? So this, I mean, technically it could come back up to here, but so we're looking to see if we do this, which would be this bolt down right here. Let's look at the 30 minute really quick. So 30 minute, we touched the 5. Let's see what happens at the 5. Look for your long entries. I was gonna say above pink, but it already happened. So you see there's a liquidity box inside of pink right here. So we're inside that box right now. I was just gonna say calls above pink with the setup being like this. Let's see if we form support here. That's why I told you don't go short until break, retest, and reject of the 5. This is why. You don't mess around with the 5 like that. Break, retest, reject of the 5. It has to be like that. Let's look at the 5 minute. Okay. So actually on the 5 minute, I had the liquidity box drawn out here. If you got in on the break, you're in profit right now. If you were to take the, whenever I said this break of pink, you're in profit right now. And then expect to be liquidity right here in 648, right above, right here. Let me just draw it. You see how we stayed in this purple? That's why I put the purple here, the guardrails, right? I put up the guardrails to show you where your exits or entries are. So look, if you wanted to scalp this inverse head and shoulders, or if you wanted to scalp this on the 1 minute, I gave you the guardrail in purple. See how this never happened? So no reason we knew what the setup needed to look like. It never happened. We got to here. We saw we broke our liquidity box to the upside. This is your long entry. Your short entry would have been underneath the liquidity box. Very simple. Very simple. Also, we broke green here. So break a green and the liquidity box. This one's highlighted with a 2. I'm definitely going to add break a green to the wins. I'm going to work on the wins right now. Give me a second. Look at the money we just printed right now. Look at all this money from pink. You had so much opportunity to get in. I've been saying above pink. All right, let me finish what I was doing. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, we're above the water now. We're above the water. Let's see if we get a weak bear cycle. Okay, I've marked out everything on the 5 minute, so yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for right now. I put in my work for the day. I was able to get I had 3 good trades. I got in somewhere up here. I know I was a little bit late to tell the Discord and everybody, but I said calls above here. We had plenty of time to get in. I have the paths on the 5 minute, so I use the 5 minute. And you know, if we do get back up to pink, then expect this cup to close and then wait for the handle to form. Okay, YouTube, it's been a pleasure. It's been my time. Discord, if you got anything for me, I'll be in the chat in a second. YouTube, you have a good day. If you're interested in learning how to trade like this, send me an email to LiveSPYTrading@gmail.com and I'll get you sorted out. Have a good day.